Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and I'm back again with another really interesting coding interview question video. This time guys, we are going to solve question number 1646, get maximum in generated array, which is a dynamic programming question. Before I start with the video guys, just want to request you that if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, then please do subscribe and hit the bell icon for future notifications of more such programming and coding related videos. Let's get started with the problem statement now. So basically guys, we are given an integer n and we are going to generate an array with this integer n. It is a zero indexed array. That means if we are given an integer n, the array is going to have a size of n plus 1. And the way we are going to generate this array is that the zeroth element, that means num0 is going to be 0. The first element, the index 1 element is going to be 1. But after that, if the index is even, that means 2 into I. So that means if the index is even, then uh, the nums 2 into I will become equals to nums I. So basically, if it's even, you just have to half that value, the half the index, and that will become the value of that even index. And if it is an odd index, so if it's 2 into I plus 1, then in that case it will become equals to nums I plus nums of I plus 1. That means if it's an odd index, then you just have to find out the value of the nums array at its middle element and its mid plus 1th element, and just add them up, and that will become the value of the odd index of that particular array. Okay. And after that, once we have created this array, we have to return the maximum integer in the array nums. So here you can see in the example, guys, when n is equals to 7, obviously nums 0 and 1 are 0, 1. But for n equals to, for I equals to 2, the value becomes equals to nums 1. So obviously if it's an even index, then you just have to half the index, and that value will become that value of that half index array will become the result. So in this case, for 2, if you half 2, you will get 1. So that's when nums 1 is actually equals to nums 2, which is 1. And if it's odd, so for example, if it's nums 3, the index is 3. So in that case, you have to find out the middle element and the mid plus 1 element. So for index 3, the middle element will be the index 1 element and the mid plus 1 element will be the index 2 element. So we are just summing those two, and then we get 1 plus 1 becomes equals to 2, and so on and so forth. You will keep on doing this thing, and finally we have to find out the maximum value. So obviously the array is this array, and the maximum value is 3. So that's what we have written. All the other examples are also similar, guys. The constraints are very straightforward. The value of n ranges from 0 to 100. That's the only constraint. So now let's jump to the solution part, guys. So the first thing which we have to do in this solution is to check if n is equals to 0 or if n equals to 1. Because if it's 0 or 1, then it is pretty straightforward. Then in that case, the maximum value we already know, right? So if it's 0, then we just have to return 0. But if it's 1, we just have to return 1, because that becomes our maximum value. If that's not the case, then we will just declare max variable, and I'm going to by default it to 1, right? Because if n is equals to, if n is greater than 1, then the minimum value which we can have is 1. So that's why default the max value to the 1 value. And then I'm going to create the nums array. So this nums array is going to be declared as a n plus 1 size array, because we have a 0 indexed array, right? Now in this nums array, guys, nums0 will becomes equals to 0, and then nums1 will becomes equals to 1, because that's given to us in the description as well. Now we are going to start our for loop, and this for loop is going to get started from 2 to I less than equals to n I plus plus. Okay. Now, as I stated to you guys, if I mod 2 is equals to 0, sorry, if I mod 2 is equals to 0, that means it's an even element. So if it's an even element, or if it's an even index, then nums I will become equals to you half the index and you find out the value of that half index. So nums I divided by 2, and that will actually becomes equals to your nums ith value. Okay. In the second case, when we have got our odd value, right? So if we have got an odd value, then we have to find out the middle element and the mid plus 1th element. So middle element is I plus 2, right? And what is the mid plus 1th element? That is I divided by 2 plus 1. So that will become equals to mid plus 1th element. You just sum both these values and that will become equal to your num set. And finally, guys, once this if else is over, we are going to check the maximum value. So the maximum value is going to be either the existing maximum value or the num's highest value, whichever is greater. And finally, when this for loop is over, we just have to return max. So let's run this code, guys. Let's see if this works for our example cases. And now I'm just going to submit it as it has worked for one example case. And there you go, guys. You can see that it is submitted successfully. Talking about the time complexity now. So the time complexity for this solution is going to be order of n, guys, because we are going to have a for loop which is running from 2 to n, so approximately n times, and that's why the time complexity is order of n. Space complexity. Space complexity is also order of n, guys, because we are creating an array of n plus 1th element. Okay, so that's why in big O notation you can say that space complexity is also order of n because we are storing n elements in a array. Okay. So that was the video, guys, and that was the solution. I hope you guys liked the solution and I hope it was clear to you. If you did like it, guys, then please do not forget to like this video and share this video with your friends. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, feedback, if you have any better solutions, please post them in the comment section below. I would be happy to address your comments. And guys, in the end, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for future notifications of more such programming videos. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care and bye bye.